To talk to Sonia from Bryan Insurance Agency as we discuss the topic of the day when it comes to insurance. And today we're going to be talking about boat insurance, about boat safety, and something, boats are something that a lot of times a lot of us are not out on all the time. So it's not one of those things that you get a lot of practice at. So you really have to be careful.
Yes, you do. The summertime, this beautiful weather we're having in our nice lakes brings something that people do a lot, which is boating and jet skiing and all that stuff. And, if I could give one piece of advice when it comes to insurance is if you're going to own a boat, use a boat, ride on a boat, talk to your insurance agent about what kind of coverage you have, because there are so many various forms of coverage out there that there's a standard auto policy, there's a standard homeowners policy. There's no such thing as a standard boat policy. They're all different. So you need to talk to your agent and say, this is what I have. How is it covered? Is it covered if I let my teenage child drive? That kind of thing. The first thing, of course, is for damage to the boat itself. While it is at your home, some policies give you like $1,500 coverage, which is not much. Some don't give you any. So while it's parked at your home, you might have some coverage on your homeowner's policy, but when you have it out using it, the liability that's on a homeowner's is very little, if any. So you really need to buy a boat policy. It's not expensive. And then you need to ask questions. One of the weirdest exclusions that we have seen, and we don't write these policies because of it, is that they exclude water skiing or pulling people behind. And water skiing is not as popular now as the tubing and all that, but some policies exclude that. So if somebody gets hurt while they're doing that, their boat policy won't cover that, and that would be a pretty big deal, because that's probably where the injury is going to happen, if it does happen, is somebody doing that kind of stuff. So
do you have to have insurance like on your boat like you would like on your car before you can take it out on the lake?
There are some rules, and I think it depends on under what authority. Like, I guess Possum Kingdom would be the Brazos River Authority. I think that it depends where you take your boat. I know that there are some rules in regard to Possum Kingdom where a person under a certain age has to take a boating safety course before they're allowed out there, that kind of thing. So I think it depends on where you're going to take your boat as far as what kind of insurance you have to have. But you would be crazy to use a boat and not have insurance. It's not expensive. You need to have it, because the last thing you want is to have a fun day turned sour because somebody got hurt and you don't have the money to take care of their injuries.
What about minimum age for driving a boat? I mean, I know you're not going to let an 8-year-old behind a wheel, but I mean, are there, insurance, do they look at minimum ages?
Yes, the insurance companies will want to know, and then some of them will only insure youthful operators, like anybody under 18, if they've had that safety course, which I think everybody should have the safety course anyway. So it depends on your insurance company, but yeah, they're gonna want to know the regular operators of that boat, how old they are, if they've had the safety course, and that kind of thing. And then, the same rules that apply when you're driving on a boat, when you're, using a boat as a car. Don't use alcohol, watch what you're doing, look for the other thing. The difference is there aren't road signs and that kind of stuff, and people get to going fast, and, so you just want to be careful out there. But again, I can't stress enough, don't wait till you've had an accident to find out, I wonder if my insurance covers that. Find out before you go, and that way and you can get what you need. At least you're aware of what you have.
What about when it comes to, let's say, differences in boats? You've got a boat that is one that used for recreation, like you say, the tubing and the skiing and things like that, compared to a bass boat that's not going to be, flying across the lake at high speeds. Are there different rates for different kind of boats?
Definitely. Some of the things that they use for rating have to do with the horsepower, has to do with the use, the size, that kind of thing. So that's a big factor when it comes to the cost of insurance for boats, is how it's used and how fast it can go.
Right. And boaters, fishermen that are out a lot, things like that. I mean, it's kind of wild to think about. If you're a fisherman, you're probably going to be on the lake a lot more than you are just on recreational. type thing. But it's something that maybe you overlook when you think about going out on the lake is not really having the proper type of insurance.
Yeah, you do need to find out. And again, it's not that expensive, and then you're covered, and you don't have to worry about it. And another thing that probably seems silly to talk about in North Central Texas, but many boat policies will only cover inland waters. So if you decide to go to the coast, you need to talk to your agent before you go, because there's a very good chance that that boat policy that covers you while you're at Possum Kingdom or Lake Graham will not cover you in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's a big deal, because it's just something that people don't think about ahead of time, so you want to make sure that your policy covers you if you're going to go do that.
I don't know this, you might not know this, I don't know, but do like the game wardens get out on a boat and go check insurances and things like that whenever you're out on the water?
Yeah, I've heard, and I know I keep bringing it up, but that safety course is a big deal, and I know that they will stop people and want to see proof of that if it's an underage driver. So yes, they do stop you and ask for it.
Wow. So there's a lot of different variables when it comes to your boat on the water and off the water too,
Right.
because if you're pulling that boat going down the highway, then you're in a whole different area of jurisdiction.
That's true, and yeah, with my job, I guess if anything can go wrong, I've probably heard of it, and you hear of a lot of different things, and so that's why I just can't stress enough. Talk to your agent, let them know you've got a boat, what you're going to use it for. That way they can advise you, make sure you're covered for all of those possible, for the liability. You can't cover everything that could possibly happen, but you want to make sure you have liability coverage if somebody gets hurt and it's your fault.
They need to get a hold of you guys to ask questions how they do it.
You can call us 940-549-2525. You can come see us on the second floor of the Sierra Bank Building in downtown Graham, or you can visit us on the web at www.bryanins.com, as well as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
So get on over to Bryan Insurance and get it done before you hit the lakes and that really cool boat you got. Either way, if you're out there fishing or playing around, make sure you got proper coverage. Sonny, thanks for coming by and talking to us about boats.
Thank you for having me.
More coming up.